So summer is over and we're off to Berlin, but what's the match card going to be for Bash in Berlin? What matches are we going to get? What championships are we going to get? And what massive NXT-based surprise are we likely to hear? I put together a 6-match card which starts the push towards a major Bloodline-based WrestleMania match, as well as celebrating a brand new champion and plenty more. Let's go through what we're expecting at Bash at Berlin. For the opening match, I have a WrestleMania rematch. Roman Reigns, who returned at SummerSlam, facing off with Cody Rhodes for a third time one-on-one. But this one is going to be the least important because it's going to be over before you know it. There's going to be no big build. Instead, for the next few weeks, Roman Reigns is going to be getting Solo Sikoa back in line and trying to focus back on the championship that he had, but with little to no success. While Solo will eventually fall in line, the air quotes are vital to that overall product. From here until WrestleMania, we're building towards The Rock versus Cody Rhodes, and we're building towards Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. So the next step is Solo making sure to get a bit of revenge on Roman and show what he can do as well. Solo is not a winner. That's a well-established fact, so he needs to take the opportunity to get one over on Roman. Attacking Roman and costing him a WWE Championship match is the way to do that. Cody, bit part player here, but we're building towards The Rock, so that's a different thing. When it comes to Solo and Roman, the two tribal chiefs will be stepping into war games, so they need that kickoff point. They need Solo looking strong. We will see over the course of the next few weeks the return of Paul Heyman, the return of Jimmy Uso, and then Jey Uso siding with Roman. You'll also see more Jacob Fatu, more Tama Tonga, and eventually Tola Tonga as well, joining Solo Sikoa's side before we have Sami Zayn rejoining the Bloodline to help get a little bit of revenge on Solo in War Games. I think they're going to lose. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're talking Bash in Berlin right now, and as we're on Sami Zayn, a rematch between Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker is booked for Monday Night Raw. I don't see them being on the PLE card and would be very surprised if they were. The Intercontinental Championship has been very well defended over the last few weeks. Sami Zayn had a great run. Bron Breakker will not be featured regularly as champion on PLEs in the same way that neither of the women's champions appear that regularly as well. As we talk women's champions, the next match I expect is a Nia Jax match, but I do not expect Nia Jax versus Bayley. No, we're trying to build new heels here, and while Nia Jax is the focal point of the division as champion, Tiffany Stratton is the one that the WWE are really trying to build to that top level. They're also trying to build either a Bianca Belair or a Jade Cargill heel turn, so they need more time together. What do you know it? We've got a tag team match. Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton taking on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, who haven't been on a PLE in a couple of months. This seems a great opportunity to further tensions between Belair and Cargill, and also to really help build Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton will be the big beneficiary here, but really, this is also where we'll start teasing that the briefcase might be cashed in on Jax as well. The wrestling debut of Uncle Howdy was pulled late from SummerSlam in order to create more of a vibe around the eventual debut. We have seen 3 members of the Wyatt Six make their first appearance. That being Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy, taking on Chad Gable's new American-made faction. While this is certainly a way to build a 6-man, and it was an incredibly fun watch, we're not building towards Shield versus Wyatt family here. We're building towards Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable. That is a match that I expect to see in Berlin as a way to really show you what Uncle Howdy is all about. Our 4th match will be for the United States Championship. Newly won by LA Knight, it has incredibly rarely been defended beforehand. Logan Paul was never there, and even when he was, he kind of wasn't wanted. This is a new world, a new division, and a new element to build around. LA Knight as champion will be a fighting champion, and he'll be defending pretty much immediately. Let's see who he's got available, shall we? The obvious choice of Berlin, unfortunately, is a rematch, and it's a match we've seen several times since, but it's a match that does deliver. AJ Styles is expected back at this week's SmackDown. It seems like the perfect moment to have AJ Styles and LA Knight renew a rivalry so that Styles can put over Knight as the United States Championship challenger. There aren't that many heels outside of the Bloodline on the SmackDown side. They could really benefit from AJ Styles back, and LA Knight will really benefit from having a match with someone who isn't Logan Paul. Another match between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley is coming, but not necessarily so soon. We want this to come when we want, not, get too excited and it just comes too early. Instead, I see them saving this one for Bad Blood when they can put it in a cell, because why wouldn't you? That said, there's definitely a temptation for a match where Balor and Liv Morgan will be on one side, or Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan on one side, and Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest will be on the other. We are building slowly towards Balor versus Priest, but I do think this will take a long time, whereas Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley will renew their rivalry very soon indeed. If you listen to Dave Meltzer, Dominic Mysterio's far too injured to wrestle, so obviously it's going to be Balor and Morgan. There's a lot of stupid people on the internet, so I'm just going to point out that was sarcasm. As much as it's very nice that Dave Meltzer has now confirmed that the plan is Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, people believe him about as much as they believe me on that one. Wait and see. Contrary to popular belief, men's tag team wrestling does actually exist, though you wouldn't know it, of course, if you're a regular WWE viewer, and after watching Bash in Berlin, you still wouldn't know it. I'm not expecting either set of tag team titles to make this event. There's actually a lot of champions missing when it comes to this one. The rivalry between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre hasn't gone away, even though Drew McIntyre undoubtedly wants to put his focus now firmly on Gunther and regaining the World Heavyweight Championship that he lost very, very quickly. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre is another match that is being teased for Hell in a Cell and is being strongly considered, so it may well be the main event of Bad Blood. Though again, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, also right there. Let me know in the comments which one you'd make the Hell in a Cell match, because I have no idea. We also have a brand new rivalry between Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed to consider. Now, the plan for Seth Rollins long term is a WrestleMania match against CM Punk based on the interactions that they've been having, and Bronson Reed, unfortunately, I don't see making it to WrestleMania. But while I definitely think this is going to be a Raw match and then some, I really don't know how this one's going to go. Seth Rollins could easily win and walk into his feud with CM Punk, but the feud with CM Punk isn't set to start just yet, so he could lose and be rebuilt well in time for WrestleMania. It's another hard one to judge. I don't see this on the PLE card. This is a Monday Night Raw match. This leaves us with our main event, which will be Gunther defending his newly won World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton. These two have a little bit of history from King of the Ring, but really this is the beginning of what I feel will be a long and in-depth and really enjoyable rivalry many years down the line. Gunther has a different date for WrestleMania. This is a bit of a throwaway championship defense, but I do feel like it's the best possible option when it comes to this potential match. Randy Orton is not only eager to work with Gunther and eager to put him over, he also knows full well that he's likely going to have to wrestle this entire match as a heel. Not only should he, but also he has the talent, he has a skill, and he can read the room so well throughout his experience that this is definitely the right call. While I do see Gunther retaining, and I don't think Randy Orton has much of a shot, this would be one hell of a main event, and I do think much like when Rhea Ripley main evented in Australia, Gunther main eventing in Germany, even though he's clearly Austrian, is a great look for him and the WWE in general. As regards the surprise I mentioned, with World of Sport Wrestling returning, and in fact WWE being back in Europe once again, I can state that significant headway is now being made on NXT Europe. I suspect Bash in Berlin might be when they announce the overall launch of the brand. So our card for Bash at Berlin is Roman versus Cody 3, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable, LA Knight versus AJ Styles, Finn Balor and Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, and Gunther versus Orton. Let me know in the comments what your Bash in Berlin match cards are, and I'll see you next time.